There comes a moment in every person's life when you have to stop asking for permission to be great and start commanding yourself to act like it. And if you want success, you can't wait for the mood to strike. You don't need more motivation, you need movement. You need discipline. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not negotiating with my weaknesses anymore. Your dreams don't respond to how you feel. They respond to what you do. Let me tell you something powerful. Nobody is coming to rescue you from average. The door to your future has no lock on the outside. It's locked from the inside, and only you hold the key. That means you've got to force yourself to get up when you don't feel like it. You've got to force yourself to study, to practice, to build, to grow, to grind, especially when it's uncomfortable. Success responds to action, not emotion. This truth is foundational to achieving anything meaningful in life. Too many people wait to feel inspired before they act. They think they need to feel confident before starting a business, motivated before working out, or excited before committing to their goals. But that's not how success works. Emotion is fleeting, unpredictable, and often misleading. If you rely on emotion, your results will be inconsistent. You'll show up when you feel good and disappear when you don't. That kind of inconsistency never leads to success. Success is built by people who act regardless of how they feel. The winners in life are not the ones who always feel great. They are the ones who act with purpose even when they feel terrible. They've learned that their emotions don't get to be the boss. Their goals are the boss. Their purpose is the boss. They wake up tired, discouraged, maybe even afraid, but they still move. They still do the work because they understand that motion creates emotion, not the other way around. Waiting to feel motivated before taking action is like waiting for the weather to be perfect before planting a seed. You'll never start. And even if you do, you won't last. Feelings are unreliable guides. They change with your energy, your mood, your surroundings, and even the food you eat. But actions, repeated consistently, reshape your identity. They build habits. They forge discipline. You don't become successful by feeling like a successful person. You become successful by doing what successful people do over and over until it becomes who you are. And here's the truth that most people miss. Action is what gives birth to the feelings you crave. Want confidence? Take action. Want energy? Take action. Want belief in yourself? Do something. Achieve a small win and build belief through results. People think belief comes first, but it doesn't. Belief grows from evidence. The more you act, the more evidence you create, and the more your brain starts to believe that maybe, just maybe, you're capable of more than you thought. But none of that happens if you sit around waiting for the perfect emotional state. If you want results, you have to be willing to move while afraid, to act while uncertain, and to commit while unmotivated. The people who build wealth, success, and purpose, they aren't emotionless robots. They have fear too. They doubt themselves too. But they've made a decision that feelings don't dictate action. Principles do. Priorities do. They've decided that the mission is too important to leave it in the hands of emotion. Every time you choose action over emotion, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Every time you show up when it's hard, you train your mind to trust you. You build self-respect, you build grit. You prove to yourself that you are not a slave to your feelings. That is powerful, that is rare, and that is what creates momentum. The kind of momentum that can take a broken life and rebuild it from the ground up. If you wait to feel like it, you'll never do it. If you wait for your emotions to align with your goals, you'll always be chasing dreams from a distance. But when you choose to act, you collapse the distance between where you are and where you want to be. Success doesn't care how you feel, it cares what you do. And what you do consistently shapes your destiny. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like a wave. Powerful when it hits, but quick to disappear when life gets hard. Discipline, on the other hand, is steady. It doesn't care about your mood, your surroundings, or your excuses. It shows up regardless. If you want to accomplish anything of value, whether it's building a business, mastering a skill, transforming your body, or elevating your mindset, you must stop depending. Motivation is emotional. It often hits after watching an inspiring video, hearing a powerful speech, or imagining the future you desire. It's exciting and it can be useful, but it's also deceptive. Because as soon as resistance shows up, that excitement fades. When the alarm clock rings at 5 a.m., when the results don't come as fast as you want, when your friends are out relaxing while you're grinding, that's when motivation runs and hides. It doesn't stay with you in the hard times. It's not reliable. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't need to feel good to function. It's built on decision and reinforced by repetition. Discipline says, I do this because I said I would. It doesn't negotiate with laziness. It doesn't ask for permission. Discipline is a personal contract that you sign with your future. It's not driven by hype, it's driven by clarity and commitment. You don't have to feel like working out. You just train. You don't have to be in the mood to study. You just open the book. You don't have to be inspired to execute. You just execute. The most successful people in the world are not the most motivated. They are the most disciplined. They don't rely on feelings, they rely on systems. They build routines that operate on autopilot so their actions are no longer optional. They take emotion out of the equation and replace it with structure, and that structure frees them. It gives them the power to produce results no matter what storm is going on around them. Discipline is what makes consistency possible, and consistency is the bridge between goals and reality. Without discipline, your dreams stay stuck in your head. They stay scribbled in your notebook, but when you apply discipline, those dreams get translated into habits, into daily actions, into tangible results. Discipline moves your goal from someday to now. It's the engine behind progress. It turns your schedule into sacred ground, something you protect, honor, and use to shape your life. People think discipline is restrictive, but the truth is, discipline is freedom. When you are disciplined, you no longer live as a slave to distractions, temptations, and moods. You become the master of your time, your body, your mind. You take control, and once you taste that control, you don't want to go back. Discipline creates momentum, and momentum creates results, and results create belief. When others are quitting, discipline keeps you moving. When the process gets boring, discipline keeps you engaged. When you're tired, discouraged, or unsure, discipline keeps you grounded. It's your anchor. It's your compass. Motivation may get you started, but only discipline will finish the race. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to be responsible. You don't need more inspiration. Discipline is not something you are born with. It's something you build. You train it like a muscle. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen it. Every time you choose structure over impulse, you reinforce it. The more you use it, the more natural it becomes. And eventually, what once felt hard becomes your new normal. Greatness requires non-negotiable decisions. The gap between average and extraordinary is not filled by talent alone, or luck, or even opportunity. It is filled by decisions that are made with such finality, such conviction, that they cannot be reversed. A non-negotiable decision is not a wish. It's not a hope. It's not something you try until it gets uncomfortable. It's a line in the sand that says, this is who I am, and this is what I will do no matter what it costs me. That kind of decision carries power because it removes the back door. It eliminates plan B. It transforms your identity and locks you into alignment with your vision. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they keep negotiating with their goals. They treat their dreams like options instead of orders. They say they want to succeed, but they leave room for excuses. They allow distractions to interrupt their focus, and they accept delays as if there's always more time. But the people who achieve real greatness, the ones who break records, build empires, and change the course of their lives, are the ones who made a decision once and refused to unmake it. When a decision is non-negotiable, it's not influenced by mood or external pressure. It doesn't shift with the weather or shrink in the face of adversity. It's fixed. It's immovable. It doesn't need to be revisited every week because it was settled once with full commitment. That's what separates the serious from the casual. A casual commitment folds when resistance comes, but a non-negotiable decision welcomes resistance because it already expected it. It doesn't see obstacles as stop signs, it sees them as tests of resolve. Your goals will only rise to the level of your commitment, and your commitment will only rise to the level of your decision. If your decision is weak, your actions will be weak. If your decision is conditional, your progress will be inconsistent. But if your decision is locked in, if it's rooted in something deeper than convenience, then your actions will carry weight, they will carry force, they will create results. Greatness is not about perfection. It's not about always getting it right. It's about refusing to quit. It's about waking up every day with your mind made up and your path set. It's about building a life that reflects your standards, not your circumstances. And that kind of life only comes from a decision that is not up for debate. You don't apologize for it. You don't explain it. You don't wait for people to understand it. You just live it. The moment you make your goals non-negotiable, everything changes. You stop tolerating average behavior from yourself. You stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. You stop letting fear dictate your choices. You become unavailable for distractions. You become immune to excuses because now you're moving with purpose, and that purpose is protected by the strength of your decision. There is something powerful that happens when you decide fully, completely, and without room for retreat. Your mind sharpens, your energy rises, your vision becomes clearer. You start to attract the resources, the people, and the opportunities you need because you are no longer sending mixed signals to the world. You're not half in, half out. You're all in. And when you are all in, doors begin to open that would have stayed closed for the indecisive. Greatness is a decision made in advance and honored in the dark. It's not flashy, it's not always fun, but it is focused. And once you lock in, once you say, this is who I am and this is what I do, you stop chasing options and start walking in authority. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It lures you in with safety, predictability, and ease, and then it slowly begins to rob you of your drive, your edge, and your potential. It convinces you that you're okay where you are, even when you're not growing. It whispers that it's better to stay in the familiar than to risk the pain of change. But every breakthrough, every transformation, every level of greatness is waiting on the other side of discomfort. Progress is not found in routines that keep you the same. It's found in moments that stretch you, challenge you, and force you to rise. When you live in comfort, you live in maintenance mode. You spend your energy preserving what you have instead of building what you could become. You stay in relationships that don't challenge you, jobs that don't grow you, routines that don't demand more from you, and environments that don't require your best. But what feels safe today becomes a prison tomorrow. Comfort zones shrink over time. They get smaller, tighter, and harder to escape. And the longer you stay there, the harder it is to remember what you were even capable of before you settled. Progress only begins when you step into resistance. When you do the reps, even though your muscles ache. When you speak up, even though your voice shakes. When you take the risk, even though you're scared of failing. It's in those uncomfortable moments that you actually begin to expand. Growth is uncomfortable by design. It requires friction. It demands sacrifice. It disrupts your rhythm and forces you to confront your weaknesses. But that's how you change. That's how you level up. You don't grow by staying safe. You grow by choosing hard things on purpose. The trap of comfort is that it looks like peace, but it's really stagnation. It looks like happiness, but it's really numbness. It gives you just enough satisfaction to keep you from reaching for more. It sedates your ambition. It silences your hunger. It makes you feel like time isn't slipping away, but it is. Every day you spend in comfort is a day you could have been building something bigger, learning something new, becoming someone stronger. Comfort delays the life you're called to live. It tells you to wait, to pause, to stay put. But progress doesn't wait. Opportunity doesn't wait. Time doesn't wait. To move forward, you must get uncomfortable on purpose. You have to break your routines. You have to push your limits. You have to force yourself to say yes to the hard thing, the unknown path, the higher standard. That's where power is. That's where confidence is built. Confidence doesn't come from comfort. It comes from proving to yourself that you can survive the stretch, that you can do what's hard, so that you can face the challenge and not back down. Every time you do that, your mind gets stronger, your will gets tougher, and your faith in yourself gets deeper. Most people never reach their potential, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they never force themselves out of the comfort they've grown attached to. They want the reward, but not the discomfort that comes with it. They want the success, but not the struggle. But success and struggle are connected. You don't get one without the other. Progress demands discomfort. It demands inconvenience. It demands that you give up ease in exchange for growth. There is no other way. When you choose comfort over growth, you lose your edge. You lose your fire. You start to settle for less and convince yourself it's enough. But deep down, you know it's not. Deep down, there's a voice telling you that you were made for more. That voice will never go away until you answer it. And answering it means leaving the safety of the known and stepping into the pressure of the new. Pressure creates strength and purpose. It is in the moments of intensity, struggle, and high stakes that the real version of you starts to emerge. Pressure is not your enemy. It is your training ground. It reveals what's inside you. It exposes your mindset, your habits, your discipline, and your belief system. You don't truly know who you are until you're tested. Anyone can be calm when things are easy. Anyone can be consistent when life flows smoothly. But pressure is what separates the committed from the casual, the serious from the shallow, the focused from the fragile. Most people avoid pressure. They run from responsibility, from deadlines, from leadership, from big decisions. They say they want success, but back down when the weight starts to get heavy. But pressure is the exact environment where greatness is born. Diamonds are made under pressure. Muscles are built through tension. Champions are formed in the furnace of difficulty. If you want to become stronger, you have to stop seeing pressure as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. It's building something in you that comfort never could. You can't grow into your full capacity without pressure. It forces you to become more resourceful, more resilient, more creative. When things get tight, your excuses get exposed. Your weaknesses get tested. Your character gets refined. That's why pressure is necessary. It doesn't just challenge you, it changes you. It strips away the distractions and makes you focus. It removes the fluff from your life and demands clarity. When pressure hits, you stop playing around. You either fold or you find a deeper level of strength you didn't know existed. Purpose often emerges through pressure. The most powerful people in the world didn't find their purpose in moments of peace. They found it when everything was on the line. They found it in failure, in struggle, in desperation. Pressure pushed them to ask bigger questions, to dig deeper, to search for something more meaningful than just comfort and convenience. And in that space, purpose was born. They stopped playing for applause and started playing for impact. They stopped doing what was easy and started doing what was necessary. Pressure gave them direction. It made their mission non-negotiable. The life you want is not found in the absence of pressure. It's found in your ability to handle it. Pressure is not here to break you. It's here to build you. It's a signal that you're moving towards something significant. If your dreams don't create pressure, they're not big enough. If your responsibilities don't stretch you, you're not leading at the level you're capable of. If your schedule doesn't make you uncomfortable, you're not demanding enough from yourself. Pressure is the price of purpose, It's the proof that you're carrying something valuable. Most people try to eliminate pressure, but the elite learn how to carry it with grace. They don't collapse under it, they rise under it. They use it as fuel. They understand that pressure creates urgency and urgency creates results. When time is short and stakes are high, you stop overthinking, you stop procrastinating, you move with intention, you take massive action. And that's how breakthroughs happen. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start building under pressure. Pressure reveals what's weak and strengthens what's real. It refines your priorities. It forces focus. It demands execution. And once you've been through real pressure, once you've survived the heat, nothing scares you anymore. You become unshakable. You become grounded in who you are. You walk with authority because you've earned it in the places where most people would have quit. Resistance is a sign of growth. Most people misunderstand resistance. They see it as a red flag, a signal that something is wrong, that they should stop, pull back, or reconsider. But resistance is actually proof that you're moving in the right direction. You only feel resistance when you're pushing against the edge of your current capacity. It shows up when you're challenging your limits, stretching your identity, and stepping into a new level of discipline, focus, or purpose. Growth does not happen in silence and stillness. It happens in tension, in discomfort, in the friction between who you are and who you're becoming. If you don't feel resistance, it means you're not moving forward. It means you're coasting. It means you're living inside the walls of what you've already mastered. But as soon as you decide to raise your standards, improve your health, scale your business, or shift your mindset, resistance will rise. It will come in the form of fatigue, distraction, doubt, fear, excuses, and even people around you questioning your path. That's not a problem. That's confirmation. You're disturbing the old patterns. You're disrupting the comfort zone. And your mind, your body,